This town, Anza, California, has all the earmarks of an extraterrestrial mecca.
And we have animal mutilations, we have abductions, we have close encounters of all degrees. We've had the appearance of mysterious animals, and we've even had some of the so-called Men in Black experiences there.
At a local coffee shop, people were willing to share bizarre stories of their UFO encounters.
Kind of. I mean, that's the feeling I get like that.
They've revealed that they believe that the Men in Black are actually extraterrestrials sighted in deserted areas near the town. Each story is stranger than the last.
And I happened to look through the trees, and I saw this vehicle standing about, just about 60 feet off of the ground. It's like a flying saucer. It had a dome on the top and a platform around, and a couple of persons walked around walking on air. I was delighted to be able to see such a thing. And then all of a sudden, it was gone.
Anza is a UFO researcher's dream, a living laboratory filled with eyewitnesses.
They moved, first saw them over here, they moved across. This thing was so bright, there was absolutely no shadows whatsoever on the ground.
It was like a gold trail, it left a gold trail.
Gotilla believes an around-the-clock surveillance here could net scientific proof of UFO activity. Activity reported today and possibly in the ancient past when Indians here drew astronaut-like figures. Because of so much activity, the time was right. A team of UFO experts and skeptics move into the area. This will be one of the largest UFO stakeouts ever. They set up a command post on Thomas Mountain.
No one that I know of has gone out there to do what we did. We had the radar.
This radar can detect objects within a 24-mile radius.
This was pretty elaborate. The equipment was very expensive and very good and very accurate.
The Starlight camera is so sensitive, it can photograph objects in total darkness. Once online, it sees anything that gives off even the slightest light. It easily picks up stars that are not visible with a regular video camera.
This camera is unique because it has an intensifier, which is more than 1,000 times more sensitive than the video camera you have in your home.
Surveying the area, the researchers are looking for a UFO the locals have nicknamed Goldie, a golden glowing craft seen over and over in the night sky from this mountaintop.
Starlight, we're looking at Mount Cahuilla. This is where Goldie, or the UFO, which has been seen about 50 times in the past 3 or 4 years, usually appears. It appears in this area. It has been seen actually all across Mount Cahuilla. This is Mount Cahuilla here.
The team gathers data and keeps meticulous notes. They continually monitor the sky. Then, unexpectedly, they're visited by witnesses. Debbie Steinberg didn't want to talk about her experience in town. She hiked to the stakeout area for a private meeting with researchers.
This was about 10:30 at night that it started. And I closed my eyes, and when I opened them again, I found myself in a room, and I was laying on a table, and I had 6 beings, and I couldn't tell you what they were doing because I really don't know. But I remember the one that was on the left of my head took something from my head.
Researchers at the stakeout say that Debbie's story fits the classic pattern of what is known as a UFO abduction experience.
I believe that the abduction phenomenon is real, that it is extraterrestrial, that people are basically describing events that are happening to them with an objective reality.
Dr. Jacobs has investigated UFO abductions in his bestseller, Secret Life.
Usually, the abduction phenomenon begins in childhood and goes all the way through old age. And so they've had a series of experiences throughout their life.
This is a rendition of the craft I saw when I was 4 and my brother was 3, and where I was zapped with light. This is a drawing of what I call the silhouettes. I'm very afraid of this rod this one carries.
The eye is long, long and thin and very black.
There was some eye contact, but it was
like you and I are making eye contact right now. It's not that we're looking at each other's eyes, but we're more like reading each other's minds. That's more like what it was.
I'm a hypnotherapist. I am now specializing in UFO abduction cases.
Yvonne Smith heads an abduction support group where people can share their experiences and discuss their feelings.
I was 6 years old, and I lived in Georgia, near Macon, Georgia. And I just remember it was in the middle of the night, and I woke up, and I was staring at the side of the head of the being. And I started to panic, and a couple of the beings in the craft subdued me somehow. And they had a very large instrument that came over my head, and they showed me a little BB looking thing. And they told me they were going to put it up my nose. But then this instrument came over my head and punctured the soft palate of my mouth, and it hurt very bad. And the next thing I knew, I was being placed back in my bedroom.
I'm finding in my cases many chilling similarities. The person is taken against their will, taken into a craft of some kind, put on a table. The women begin to experience the gynecological examinations done by the aliens on them. They feel very violated. With the men, anal probes are inserted and sperm is taken. It's all done against their will, and they're really helpless to do anything about it.
Regression therapy is an extremely controversial method in which abductees relive their UFO encounters under hypnosis. Some scientists suggest that what they're actually reliving might be repressed emotional trauma or subconscious fears from childhood. But for the abductee, the alien encounter is very real.
In abduction cases, many times the person will remember consciously that something strange or bizarre happened to them, something out of the ordinary. They desire to go into hypnosis to retrieve the hidden memories.
During some abductions, I'm aware of them, of their taking sperm samples in many different ways. They've done it in many different ways. With tubes, with like catheters. There's one way I have not been able to deal with emotionally or under regression. And that's one where there's a being on top of me. And I can't deal with that yet.
Under hypnosis, Jesse Long is reliving trauma that he believes is caused by his abduction experience.
As incredible as it sounds, these people are actually reliving these terrifying experiences.
Long claims to have not only emotional scars, but real physical scars as well. Even more disturbing are stories from women who believe they were abducted for breeding purposes.
As incredible as this may sound, we have come across in the research cases having to do with missing fetuses.
I remember they numbed me from the waist down, and they took something that looked like an umbilical cord attached to placenta, and they levitated it into some kind of chamber.
Later abduction scenarios, she is